was a little bit plumpish. Everyone knows that skill's not the only thing that's going to win you a game. Determined, will not leave a stone unturned. He would lead from the front, confident, a very confident outlook, a leader of men at that stage.
Another day, another episode. Whose mind voice are we going to listen today? We have Coach, Guru, Dav Whatmore. Vanakkam, Namaskar. How's it been, Dav?
Vanakkam. It's been wonderful, absolutely wonderful to be back in India, particularly in Chennai.
So I've learned Tamil.
Oh, don't ask me that.
Hindi?
Bengali? Tora. Alpo.
Bengali?
Malayalam? No. I know a bit more Bengali than I do anything else. English, okay.
English is the best.
And I'm very lucky that a lot of people in India speak English.
So you must have learned Tamil, being in Chennai, Whatmore Center for Cricket, should have learned Bengali, coach of KKR, should have learned Bangla, their language, Bangladesh.
And Zimbabwe was...
Sinhalese, Sri Lanka.
Well, that's true, Sinhalese.
Malayalam, now coaching Kerala, coach of Kerala in Indian domestic cricket.
Correct. And Swahili.
What else?
Swahili in Zimbabwe. Zulu, Swahili.
Zulu.
Whatever.
Unbelievable journey it has been for you.
Yeah. Covered a few countries and it's been a great journey.
96 Sri Lanka World Cup win. 2007 Bangladesh beating India and then moving forward into the next stage. And then 2008. You're back to India. 2008. You know what I'm coming to. King Kohli. When he was 18 years old. You saw King Kohli. The World Cup win, under-19 World Cup win with the Indian team.
That was also a very good experience, I tell you. I was fortunate to get an opportunity to work with the team. BCCI, in their wisdom, asked me as head of the NCA would I do it, and I was more than happy to do. We had a brief time, I think a week and a half or so, at the NCA before our trip to Malaysia. And we felt, I felt that the boys in the team had enough skill. So now, as everyone knows, that skill's not the only thing that's going to win you a game. It's played in the head. Once you cross over that rope and you walk into a competition, a lot of it is played in the head. So to see how they would approach competition, I was particularly interested in, and they're able to assist in a few ways to being able to to introduce a couple of strategies to relieve stress so they can go ahead and perform. And boy, did they perform. Didn't lose a game.
Did you see greatness in Kohli back then, 2008?
No, not really. No? I saw a player who was absolutely determined. I saw a player that would not leave a stone unturned. Physically, he would lead from the front. At practice, he would be the last one to leave. He wouldn't mind diving and grazing and taking some skin off. Not a problem. From a batting point of view, yes, he was a good contributor. He failed a couple of times, and I do specifically recall agreeing with him that for him to have more of an influence in our total, that he should be batting well into the 40s over. Over 40 plus, he should be batting. So there was a couple of instances before that where he was getting out. He got a start and get out, but his goal after that was to keep batting and be in the crease after the 40th over onwards. So I saw a player who was a little bit plumpish, but still had a very confident outlook. And was a leader of men at that stage.
And recently you termed Kohli as a democratic leader and that people assume of him differently. What exactly do you mean that? Can you just take an example? Go back in time, check what he said, go back in time and then understand. Well, can you throw some references?
Look, I just feel that as a leader in those days, in the under-19 days, he was one of 11 guys who relied on others to perform to win games, and nothing's changed. Although he's being an extremely talented leader in the sense of he performing. leadership has not done any harm to Virat Kohli. He's responded in a very positive way, and he's relishing the extra responsibility of leadership. But along the way, you need the support of everyone else. And, I'm not privy to what happens in dressing rooms, but I can only assume that he's able to get the best out of players, whoever they are, with one common purpose, and that is to improve your performance so the team ultimately, has the right result.
You spoke about this plumpy Virat Kohli during the under-19 days.
Yes, I did.
What one moment when do you feel like, okay, this kid is going to be the next big thing in India?
To me, it was clearly when Kohli decided that fitness, mattered. In the Under-19 World Cup, it was only a matter of just a week or a couple of weeks before the first IPL. And there was a lot of talk amongst the group about the possibility of some or most of them being part of a franchise that was going to play in the inaugural IPL. And BCCI allowed, I think, one or two, I'm not sure, under-19s to be part of the franchise. And we had a few of the boys who was represented in the respective teams.
Right? Kohli was part of RCB, Jaddu was there,
that's right.
Jadeja was there.
Yeah,
People got their chances.
The talk was, that financially there'll be a lot of, gain to be had.
Yes.
And I know that Virat Kohli was due to buy a motor car. And he did go on record by saying now it makes it easier for him to afford to buy. I think it was a Honda, not a Civic, the one below that. It makes it easy for him to afford to buy his first motor car. Boy, that was a long time ago. But it was a point where he decided that the fitness regime and the relationship between fit and performance, that was, to me, when it all changed.
That fierce competitor look, when someone drops a catch, he's at their face. Even if it's his own team members, he shows his disappointments to them. Was this the character that you saw in the Under-19 World Cup?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Was he the same that he is now back then?
I think so. I don't think he'd be very happy.
Can you remember one or two moments?
No, not a specific, but that the eyes are almost, those eyebrows join and becomes a monobrow. That's when you understand that this guy, is
really
not happy. Yeah, he's not
upset.
happy with the situation. But Virat, he doesn't care. He's so singularly focused on what he's doing, and singularly focused on supporting the team, that he will protect them no matter what. And that's a very warm feeling to have if you're part of that team. You have a leader who is prepared to get right out there and do things that have never been done before.
Did you find it strange as a coach, especially you coming from Australia, having played international cricket for Australia? Did you find that strange, that sort of attitude with an Indian cricketer, young cricketer versus 18, 19? Did you find that strange at that moment?
It was, yeah. I would have to be very honest with you. The captain that they had before him in the other matches leading up to the World Cup with the under-19s was a guy called Tanmay Shrivastava.
Yeah.
Shrivastava, yeah, from UP.
Yes.
And still a very, very good left-hand opening bat. Yes. But the personality was poles apart. It was the opposite. So Virat came into the leadership at that young age with a very positive and demanding
kind of a captain,
role, but also with a little bit of an understanding of democracy, because it's the rest of the boys too that really have to really pull their weight in order to win a World Cup, even if it's an under-19 World Cup.
Did at any point of time you feel like putting arms around Kohli, saying that, no, Virat, just temper down, it just happens? At that point, did you go on?
I'm not sure my arm went around him, but certainly, as I said earlier, that he came up to me and he was a little bit concerned that he was getting out after getting a start. So one of the things we agreed on, that he should be batting once that 40 overs mark comes along, he has to be at the crease. So as a leader and the ability that he has with the bat, I think it would be a huge advantage for us, Virat, if you're batting at that point.
Are you really surprised, given the way that he has scored hundreds, match after match, day after day? Are you surprised about that?
At that time, yes, but not so much after that. When I mentioned earlier that the change was when he got fitter, and that's not easy to do. To drop weight and to have the discipline to do that. Your intake has a big role to play. The food that you eat. The effort that you put in to lose weight and to get stronger, all these things matter, and they're not easy to achieve. So once that happened, that didn't surprise me. Now you've got a guy that's totally focused on, on the ability to concentrate longer and be fitter with the skill, and his single-mindedness. That's a beautiful mix to have for success.